One. Okay, yes, we are live. It looks like it's working, you guys. Yay. Welcome to beautiful Vista Hermosa Park.
Yes.
Is where we are. We're in beautiful Vista Hermosa.
Nice view of downtown LA in the background.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at that right now. You don't need to see my mug. I'm going to switch to the front-facing camera. We are in beautiful downtown LA in Vista Hermosa Park. This is so pretty. This is a hidden gem, as Jennifer says. And of course, the city sounds behind us. So I'm Laura Rebecca, and this is Jennifer Oliver O'Connell. We are the yoga teaching co-hosting pair of Off the Beaten Path Retreats, and this lovely yogini is Ashley. Ashley, tell us your name.
Hello. I'm Ashley Joshua.
And Ashley is a newly minted yoga teacher. She's just completed the Core Power Yoga. See, she's even got her teacher training yoga mat. I know, that's the best part. She's a recent graduate of yoga teacher training program, and she's joining us today. As you can see, we have our blocks ready. We're going to do a yin yoga practice for you guys to follow along wherever you are. So let's get right into it. Thank you, Ashley, for coming out today. We really do appreciate that you made the trip downtown. Yeah, and so I'm going to turn it over to you, Jennifer. So what's our first posture, or do you want to talk a little bit about a yin practice before we get started?
I can actually talk through yin practice while we go through the posture.
Okay, sounds good.
The first posture is called toe squat, and really we abuse our feet so much in this society. Even if you're sitting in your car all the time, you're still abusing your feet because one foot, the ankle's getting worked, the other foot is sitting stationary, trapped in shoes. So this is a posture that opens up the plantar fascia and the connective ligaments. You've got a million, maybe 1,000, but probably closer to
a lot.
A million. A lot of ligaments that connect your toes all together to the foot bone and then to the ankle bone. And this really sends a lot of blood and synovial fluid in there to bring healing and to bring restoration. And it only takes 1 minute of your time, so you can do it while you're watching TV. That's not digital detox, but while you're watching TV or answering texts or Netflix, it's something that you can do quite easily. So you begin in what's a standing on your knees posture. Now, if you have knee issues, there are blankets, there are bolsters. I do the simple trick of just rolling my mat up to give myself some cushion. Again,
that's
you're only here for a minute.
It's about all you can stand in this pose.
Next up is just using your blocks as support. Curl your foot under. And don't just hit the toes, you want to hit the ball mount of the foot, so past your toe crease. And then do the other one. Now for some people, particularly if they don't work their feet at all, this hurts. This is already stretching into my plantar fascia, into the connective ligament that attaches to the Achilles tendon. I'm already feeling it. But in terms of yin, you want sensation because the sensation is an indicator of the opening.
Right.
So I'd say 60-70% sensation. So if you want a little bit more, send your hips to your heels and take a seat on your heels. Again, some people are, I can't handle this, block right here. Assist that in order to help you handle it.
So just sit on the block.
Yeah, just sit on the block.
How's that feeling, Ashley?
Yeah.
It feels like a good foot stretch of the plantar fasciitis. It feels really good.
No, all right.
Yeah. And just chill out. Spread the toes. Frankly, you're already about 20 minutes into it, just getting set up and sitting down. But it's amazing how when we have to sit still in something, it seems like it's stretching and it's longer and it's like, oh my God, what's happening? But really, this is only a minute posture of your time, and it is so restorative. If you do this 2 or 3 days a week, I know it assists me greatly because I have plantar fasciitis, then you will find a change in the way you stand, in the mobility of your feet. It may be even, and again, this has been told by anecdotal methods, not necessarily by medical methods. Some people have said it has restored their arch support.
Absolutely.
So, you never know.
You never know. So relax your shoulders down there, Ashley.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, because one thing I find when I use the block, sometimes you get so wrapped up in the sensation, you start to tighten up in your shoulders.
Right.
So just be aware of that, and the best thing to do is just breathe.
And I know Ashley also has shoulder issues. So generally, where your issues are, particularly when you're doing yin, is where you start to tense up. If it's your neck, I see people with their shoulders by their neck, even though they're trying to hold this posture. It's like the places where you find tension normally is usually where everything goes when you are trying to sit still in a yin posture.
The issues in your tissues.
Amen. Yes. We've got about 5 more seconds on this. And the fun part is actually coming out of it, as far as I'm concerned. So gently lift your hips up. Come back to your blocks if you need. Again, older people, they need as much stability as they can. So planting your hands on your blocks to reset yourself. And then you uncurl your toes. And plant them shoelace side down again. Maybe use the hands, and to get that fresh blood and synovial fluid coming through, you make rain with your feet.
There you go.
Everybody loves this part. When I teach class, people are just like, yeah, it feels good, yeah. And it's supposed to feel good, and it's doing good.
And plus you get the sound.
It's
Yeah.
a vibration. In the
Yes, yes. And just spread out your toes a little bit.
Right on.
And this is technically a 2-part posture, although we teach them separately. Ankle stretch is the other part. And so here, you're in position already. Bring your big toes together. Touch them. Widen your knees. And then start to sit back again. And we have a helicopter
Yeah, we
flying
do.
overhead,
That's-
such as the life of Los Angeles.
So I got closer.
And then sit your hips against your heels again. Some people feel this right away. Other people are just like, well, I don't feel anything. Then take your blocks and then come back and open up the heart a little bit. So you not only get an ankle stretch in, but you get a little bit of a heart opener. And you're even going to feel this in your quads, which are the muscles in the front of your thighs, and a little bit at the base of your hips where your psoas meets.
Yeah.
This one's a little longer, it's 2 minutes. It's a little bit less intense, but just as beneficial, just as helpful. Again, we're constantly compressing our ankles. Whether we're standing, whether we're driving, even when we're sleeping, we don't think about what's happening with our ankle. This is a way to decompress it, to stretch it in the opposite direction, to stretch all those great ligaments in the opposite direction and get rid of inflammation around the Achilles tendon, around the connective bone of the ankle and the foot. Again, does wonders to restore the body.
Yeah.
And
It
again,
feels
it's
really
all
good.
about restoration.
It sure is. And there are a lot of, you mentioned the meridians. A lot of the meridians, if I remember correctly, they converge right in that area. A lot of the different energy pathways in the body converge right around the ankles.
Most definitely.
So this is a good way to kind of hit a whole bunch at once.
Right, and if you're someone who's into reflexology, you know, you're really getting a bit of a reflexology workout with these 2 postures.
Uh-huh.
And reflexology, you know, certain points on the meridians of the feet and certain points on the ankle relate to other points like the head, the liver, the kidney. So you're also doing some health to your entire body while you're doing some health to your feet.
How's that feel, Ashley?
It feels really good, especially in the feet and the ankles. I feel a stretch there. And in the psoas.
You can actually bring your blocks a little bit more forward and still lean back, you know what I mean? So that you're not putting so much pressure. How's that? A little better?
Shoulders, yeah.
So like this?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
And
yeah.
you feel it in your psoas, you said.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's really tight.
Ah,
So this is great.
So a psoas stretch, we've discovered something.
there you go.
Actually, I knew that, but you know, with Yin, we kind of slowly focus on what people can absorb.
Right.
But that's a good thing to note, that you also get a psoas opening from it, and a gentle one.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about Yin Yoga postures is that I can't think of any Yin Yoga postures that only focus on one area. I mean, there's one area where you get most of the benefits, but there's always some secondary and tertiary, the things that are, you know, that you get a lot out of a little.
Yes.
So
Yes, it's good.
there you go. That's a good
Yeah.
modification with the elbows.
No
Perfect.
pressure.
Yeah. The less pressure you put on your wrist, the better.
So we are 2 minutes in. Same principle, using your blocks to lift you up, particularly if you have balance issues. Press yourself back up. And plant your hands, and this is also another fun one that I find, because you're going to feel like, oh my God, I'm all stiff. So then lengthen out one leg and start to make circles with your toe, circles with your ankles, and you've got the same thing as making rain. You've got fresh blood and synovial fluid. It's kind of like a kinked up hose. You've got a hose and you're trying to run water through it, and you kink it up so that the water pressure stops. And so it builds up, and then when you unkink it, it comes out more powerful. It's the same thing with the blood and synovial fluid. You're kind of kinking it up, you know, decompressing your ankle, but compressing your ligaments and your veins, and then you get that great rush. That brings a lot of healing. Make sure you do the other side too.
Great analogy. It's true, though.
Yeah.
How much we kink our hoses
Yes. Yes.
in our daily lives, the things we do to ourselves. So we need yoga.
We do. So after you have refreshed your feet, really, like any good yoga sequence, they build on each other. Each posture builds on each other. The next posture is the first long seated posture, involving the feet, the ankles, the knees, and it is called butterfly. Other people may, yin, we tend to give them a little bit different names than some of the yan postures. In yan, this looks like bound angled pose with the soles of the feet together, knees spread wide. We call it butterfly. So it's like little butterfly wings right there. And what makes it more yin is the minute you start engaging muscles, it's when bones and ligaments don't come into play.
Right.
So you want to limit the muscle engagement so that everything can get deep into the bones, because that's the principle of yin, healing the bones, lengthening the ligaments, and that's done slowly and easily. So one of the ways not to engage muscle, particularly if you're someone who is hyperflexible or even someone who's way too tight, is to bring a block underneath both knees. If we had more blocks, we could demo. You can also place blocks like a stack up here and rest your head. I usually place blocks either on my thighs or on my side and just hang out. And that's all you're doing. Where I find students start getting antsy is that they're trying to do this and they're
pull
thinking about pull and thinking about stretch rather than just thinking about being. Yin is that combination of effort and ease.
Yeah.
And that allows the opening that you need.
Yeah, your student's already in the pose, it looks like.
Yeah, she is, and it looks like she's having a good time. And this is already, into the posture, and it's a 5-minute posture. So if you're not used to being in a quiet space, if you're not used to being still that long without any type of electronic stimulation, this can be hard.
Yep.
It can be a lot of effort. So part of our joy in teaching yin is helping the student find that combination of effort and ease, giving them rest, particularly in the base of the neck, allowing that to rest, giving a little bit of opening. This is the sternocleidomastoid, this big ligament that comes up right behind the ears. And frankly, people who are having shoulder issues, people who are having neck issues, probably involves this being too tight or too kinked up. This is a posture that helps to stretch that area out, as well as gives rest to the rotator cuff. A lot of yoga, obviously, is chaturanga. A lot of the power involves us doing that. And so if you have shoulder issues, that can be a little bit difficult. This is a practice that heals that area and allows it to be, allows the tissues to de-inflate, to decompress, and open up. And so people who have injuries tend to find healing doing yin yoga, particularly in combination or outside of their regular yoga practice. And then, of course, the knees are getting a rest and getting an opening. One of the other great benefits of butterfly is also the erector spinae, which are the muscles along the vertebra of the spine.
You guys are getting an anatomy lesson here.
And that gets great ease by being open like this. How often do we sit around like this? We're usually upright, or
engaged,
overly engaged. Yeah.
Well, I find that that's one of the hardest things, not hard, but a challenging thing about teaching yin yoga is people who do tend to be very flexible or very athletic, who are used to doing a lot of the more yang practices, to get them to not engage, to encourage them, because we're so used to engaging our muscles and holding ourselves up in certain postures that it's okay to just yield and let gravity and time do the work.
I had one student who, for the first time, took my Core Restore class Thursday nights at Core Power Yoga in Hollywood.
Great class.
And she actually thanked me. I could tell during the class she was struggling, and she actually thanked me afterwards, and she said, I need to do this more often because I realized I have a difficult time sitting still. And so that really is a revelation. A lot of this is not only external, but it's also internal. An internal revelation that, stillness is not a bad thing.
Yep.
I need to be in it a little bit more and allow my body to heal. Because stillness allows the mind to heal. And quiet allows the mind to flow.
Oh, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. One of the things that, for those of you who are watching, one of the things that we're particularly excited about with our upcoming retreat in early July is that we'll not only have a balance of practices, we'll have a yin practice like this as well as our yang, more of a power flow practice, but also the opportunity for people to just to quiet the mind.
Yes.
There'll be a lot of, peaceful, serene, not, I mean, this is nice, but, there will be no helicopters, there will be no sirens. And then an opportunity, we encourage students to really detox from digital devices, because when you're trying to relax in a yoga class, and if you have your phone next to you and you get a notification or a ping or a vibration that there's a text coming in, it takes you out of it. It takes you out of that peace. And we don't need those interruptions. We can carve aside time. It's okay to do that.
Yes. Well, we're like a couple of more minutes in this posture, and as you see, Ashley is just melted there. and really, that is the beauty of this practice. Even if a student may struggle at the beginning or kind of have trouble, eventually something in them taps in and allows them to melt into place. And a lot of times, because this is a very safe posture, I let them hold it a whole lot longer than 5 minutes.
Sure.
Because it's good opening and to allow them to marinate in that stillness.
This could be you, viewers.
Yep.
This could be you. You could bring golf clubs.
Actually, gently roll yourself back up to a tall torso. Take your time. No need to be in a hurry. That's the beauty of this. A lot of times it's like, why do I want to be in a hurry? Ease yourself back up. Liberate your blocks. Set them aside. And then bring your knees together. Close them like a book. And lift your weight of your legs. You've opened up the psoas, you have opened up a lot of those connective tissues around the ilium, which is the hip bone, and the humerus, femur, rather. Humerus is the arm bone. And those are like rubber bands. And so you stretch them out, and now you want to put them back into place very gently, in a gentle way. And so this little windshield wiper.
I love the windshield wiper. We have about 10 more minutes, Jennifer. What are some other postures we can do? I'm sure, Ashley, do you think you could stand some more?
Absolutely. Yeah. I love this.
We're going to do one more long posture, or about 5 minutes on this one. And this one is reclined bound angle pose, but it's different from, again, the yawn bound angle pose.
Right.
You actually start off with the block because you want the heart opening. So one block is placed between the shoulder blades. You gently lay back. For people who have neck challenges, I love this opening because not only, again, does it get into these great bones and the muscles in the rotator cuff, the ligaments in the rotator cuff, and these great bones of your collarbones, but it also, again, opens up the sternocleidomastoid, opens up the levator scapula and back, and stretches it out. But for some people, maybe that's too much on the neck. So you can always put another block right here.
There you go.
The piece de resistance, again, you're going into bound angle, putting the soles of the feet together, knees wide, and then you're also putting blocks underneath the knees. So again, a gentle passive opening of the heart, of the psoas muscles. The obliques are getting that nice lift and opening. We use our obliques so much that we don't think about it. How many of you, when you're driving, are constantly reaching back for this to slap your kid, maybe? Or okay. No abuse.
Get comments about that.
Yeah, so we're using our obliques without giving them a lot of rest and a lot of ease. And so this is allowing you to give some ease to your obliques, ease to your shoulders.
How's your low spine feeling, Ashley?
It's great. It's
Good.
relaxed.
Wonderful.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And for some people who want to, I want to feel a little bit more juju, they can bring their heels a little bit closer to their groin. people need a little bit less, then move them further away. It's all about what you need in your yin practice. It's very individual, which is why you customize the props.
Yeah, that's the great thing about yin is that that there's no, I mean, there's the way that we set up the posture, but there are always other layers. There are ways to modify for each individual, because everyone has different levels of flexibility, different injuries, different issues going on, and so if any of you are watching thinking, well, I don't know if I can do that, I have an injury here or there, you can do any of these postures. It's just the way you do it might look a little different, but that's what your instructor is there for, to help guide you through the best way to do the posture for your body.
Right, allowing you to find that space of effort and ease.
Yes.
And healing for your body.
Awesome.
And really, I mean, in terms of adjustments, there's not a whole lot you have to do, because again, they're just marinating in their still space. And part of the goal of yin is meditation. So if you're finding your student is in meditation and relaxed, leave them. Allow them to be there, because an adjustment or even a touch or even just your presence can sometimes disrupt that.
Right.
So it's feeling the room, but the people you see are kind of struggling or they're adjusting blocks. Those are the ones that you can go in and
right.
help you find that space of ease.
Yeah, we don't normally talk this much during a yin practice.
Exactly.
This is just for the purpose of this video. But normally, yeah, once I get a student into a pose, I just shut up till it's time for the next one. Unless again, like you said, if I see someone struggling, I'll offer assistance. But for the most part, it's just you and the pose.
Yeah,
which
I
is
find
nice.
As the class begins, I explain a whole lot more. And as the class progresses, particularly as we get into the longer postures, I say a whole lot less. Because it's about an internal meditation,
right?
A non-moving meditation that allows the person to, tap into themselves, tap into the divine, whatever works for them in terms of a yoga practice.
It's all about balance, Even though yesterday was the longest day of the year, the longest period of daylight, remember that in 6 months from now we're going to have the shortest day of the year, and yet you have to have that. You have to have that, the darkness to have the light. You've got to have the yin to have the yang. So
that's the waxing and the waning.
Yeah.
And yin definitely represents that waning part, the moon side of life.
Yep.
That comes into ease, that comes into stillness, but still shines brightly. Got one more minute, Ashley. You look like you are in love and you could stay here all day.
And see, all you need is a space large enough for a yoga mat and some props. And if you don't have yoga blocks, what I tell students, if they want to do this at home, you can take the sofa cushions or pillows and do the same thing. Or rolled up towel sometimes can take the place of a block and works just fine.
It really does. And for those of you concerned about the Los Angeles heat wave, it's probably like 80-something here in downtown Los Angeles, and we are in this nice little shady glade.
Yeah, we're in the shade.
Feeling no pain. It's gorgeous.
Well,
so.
I'm a little hot, but okay.
Postmenopausal.
That's what I'm telling you. And it could be February and I'd be complaining. So there you go. It's good for that too.
Yeah.
Balance out your endocrine system, your hormones, your circulation, skeleton, parasympathetic nervous system, all the things.
Recommend coming to your forearms and your elbows first, engaging your core, and gently just lifting up off of the blocks. And this posture, the counter stretch, is just a simple forward fold. So extending the legs long, lifting up, and then rounding over. Once again, you're not even focused on any type of stretch. You're just folding over. You have opened the heart that has lots of meaning energetically, emotionally. And so now you're just tamping it down a little bit, closing it off, making sure the energy is contained. And here's where a good yin teacher can come in and give a little bit of juju, a little bit of love, stretch to the back line, into the scapula, the ribs. Give the intercostal muscles some love. Give the quadratus lumborum, another muscle that is often neglected and not thought about, in the near the lower lumbar. Give that some love as well and open that up.
And you don't have to memorize all these technical terms.
No, you don't.
But it's good. It's good to hear them, that there are specific areas that are working here.
Yeah, that are being targeted in the body.
Exactly. One thing to keep in mind when you do a yin practice, and we don't have this issue here today because it's a nice warm summer LA day, but if you do this indoors, sometimes the body temperature will drop in a yin practice. So I recommend, if you take a yin class, to dress in layers, because you might get a little chill.
Good point. So Ashley, go ahead and roll yourself back up. We can do a brief supported bridge before we move into our final pentacle pose. So go ahead and roll onto your back. Bring your feet flat, knees up. And here's where, again, supported bridge is different from the typical bridge. Lift your hips up and place a block any height. What do you like, rectangular, hamburger?
That one's good.
Okay. Where your sacrum meets your lower back. So not too high up on the back and not too low up on the butt. And then just chill out. This is about a 2-minute posture. Again, ease to the psoas. The regular bridge really is a huge opening of the psoas and another huge opening of the front line. We've already done a huge opening of the front line. Now let's gentle down.
Right. So
allow it all to stabilize.
Yeah, and our regular bridge pose, there's a lot more engagement in the glutes. Here we don't have to engage our glutes. We can really focus just on the low spine.
Yes.
And
getting nice ease and space in the sacrum. A lot of people have SI joint issues. This is a posture that can bring alleviation and ease to that.
When's the best time of day to do a yin practice, Jennifer?
When it's cool, because ligaments and bones require a cooler environment in order to do that.
Right.
So morning yin, even though we have a lot of evening yin classes, and that's okay too. In Southern California, the temperature drops in the evening too.
Right.
But morning is usually the best time to go into a yin class. And the principle works because if you're getting up and you're getting ready to move into your day, you might as well bring stability and healing and openness to the bones and the ligaments and the things that carry us into our day.
Right.
So it's a lovely way to start your day. And at our retreat, July 6th through 10th, that's how we'll be starting the day.
That is right.
Every morning practice will be a yin practice.
Yay, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be leading some of those classes, and I'm really looking forward to it. And you know, people, they like to do their vigorous workouts in the morning, but I think once you get a taste of doing a yin practice in the morning, you really appreciate how much better you feel for the rest of the day, and how much they're having fun over there. How much it energizes you, believe it or not. Doing this slow practice really energizes you, and your circulation is really awakened better than a cup of coffee, I think.
Most definitely.
And
your mind is awakened because your mind is allowed to be still.
Yep, you can focus more.
Yes.
That's what students have told me when we for a time we had some restorative yoga classes at Hollywood, and the students who took those morning classes said that they felt better for the rest of the day and more energized and more alert and focused better. So I think there's something to that. I don't think it's just hype.
Not at all. So Ashley, gently lift your hips up, liberate your block, and then lower your hips down. Good. And this takes you easily into final pentacle pose. So straighten your legs out and spread them wide like a V, like you're making a V shape. Good. Open your arms into a T, as a friend of ours and fellow trainee of Ashley's, Jameson, said, like you're Jesus Christ on the breast.
We're not getting religious here, people.
Not exactly, but it's a good analogy.
That's true. That is the shape.
And really the goal of that, again, is not only a resting posture, but an opening posture. You are opening up the fascia and the meridians from the tip of the toe all the way to the hip, from the hip all the way up to the shoulder and the shoulder all the way down to the hands. And allowing it to be open and spacious. And again, you're promoting healing, especially while you're being still. This is the Shavasana version for the Yin practice.
We call it in Yin, again, because the similar postures, different names, because different goals, we call this pentacle pose. Someone once referred to it in teacher training as pentagram pose. I'm like, no, again, no religious references. Or whatever that is. But what's also really good about this pose is that it really helps to realign the spine. It brings everything back into neutral so that the forward folding postures and reclining postures and twisting postures, all of that, we kind of get to, it's sort of like after a big meal, you take each bit of silverware after you clean it and put it back in its little slot. You put the forks back in the fork slot, and the spoons and the knives, and everything gets to be put back to where it belongs, and the blood flow gets to redistribute evenly after any compressions that we've done. And everybody's jealous of us because they're not doing Yin yoga. As they should be. You can come to the retreat though.
Not that far away.
AsTheGirlTurns.com. Sign up now.
Beautiful Ashley, we're going to end this session. You have been a glorious student. Go ahead and bring some life back to your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Bring your legs back together, kiss your thighs. And hug your knees into your chest. Move to the left side. Yeah, give them some love for the beautiful work you have given your body. Thank yourself. And roll over to the left. Again, the Yin practice is about the waning side.
Yeah.
About the side of ease and effort, and left signifies that. Right is strength and power. Left is that effort and that ease side coming into play. And gently press yourself up to a seat. Any comfortable cross-legged posture. Bring your palms together. I usually end with a meditation on Desiderata. And I know some of it by heart, but we'll just end with the last part of that. You are a child of the universe. No less than the trees or the stars who have a right to be here. And though it may not seem clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Bring your thumbs to your third eye. And let's seal this lovely Yin practice. Namaste.
Namaste.
Well, namaste basically means the light and the teacher and the yogi in me sees the same in you. My heart sees your heart. Sometimes I say, I'm awesome, you're awesome. We recognize that in each other, and it makes for a better world. It really does.
So true. Well, thank you so much, ladies. Thank you, Jennifer, for coming out. Ashley, thank you so much for being our student. I hope you feel good. How do you feel?
I feel so good.
And that was just 30 minutes.
I feel so like renewed.
Beautiful.
I just feel good and good to be here. Surprisingly, I don't feel as hot anymore. My temperature has lowered.
That's so great. Well, thank you again so much. And so everyone watching, look for Ashley at a yoga studio near you. Are you teaching anywhere right now, Ashley?
I am teaching at 24 Hour Fitness in Burbank and Pasadena.
Awesome.
And I will be teaching at the Toluca Lake Fitness Club soon. So I'm excited about that.
That's great. Well, when we go post this on our page, we'll definitely tag you, and thank you again for taking time out of your day to practice Yin with us. And Jennifer Oliver O'Connell,
so much.
Also known as on Instagram, Fit Fat Yogini, FITPHAT Yogini. also known as asthegirlturns.com, which is the website where you can place your deposit for this retreat. We don't want you to miss out. There's not much time left. We want you to be included. And last but not least, your camera operator here. This is Laura on Instagram. I'm laurateachesyoga.com. On Twitter, I'm Laura's Yoga Class. And collectively, Jennifer and I are Off the Beaten Path Retreat. So follow us on Twitter. Thank you for watching. Even if you only watched part of it, we really appreciate your time. We hope to see you in Oregon in less than 2 weeks. Have a beautiful summer day. Bye.